Cast your mind back to the 60s and 70s, a time before the internet or on-demand streaming services. Halloween back then held a different kind of magic. Afternoons spent crafting homemade costumes from bedsheets and cardboard boxes, pillowcases ready to be stuffed with sweets, and most importantly, the race against time to get home, wash up, and sit in front of the TV. Why? Because that was when It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown aired. This wasn't just a short cartoon for kids. It created a new concept in the industry, appointment television. For the first time, a holiday like Halloween was defined by a specific cultural program, bringing millions of families together at the exact same hour to share the same experience. Number 10, The Unexpected Expedition to the North. The first fact might shock even the most loyal Peanuts fans. Despite being soaked in American suburban culture, complete with sprawling pumpkin patches and the trick-or-treat tradition, the reality is that American audiences weren't the first to see it. On October 26, 1966, Canada's national broadcaster, CBC, aired the special, exactly one day before CBS in the United States. In the media landscape of the 60s, this was an anomaly. U.S. networks were notorious for gatekeeping their content like Golden Fort Knox. Allowing a foreign broadcaster to premiere Charles Schulz's Crown Jewel was an unprecedented move. It raises a hilarious theory. Was the Great Pumpkin actually a Canadian resident, migrating south only when the winter chill set in just in time for Halloween? Whatever the reason, Canadian children had 24 hours to debate Linus's faith before American kids even knew what was happening. Number 9, Candy Born from Childhood Compassion. There is a scene that has gone down in cinematic history for its grim irony. Charlie Brown goes trick-or-treating and hears his friends exclaim, "I got a chocolate bar," or "I got a quarter," only for Charlie to dejectedly mutter, "I got a rock." The public reaction that followed remains one of the most beautiful testaments to the power of art. Immediately after the first broadcast, the mailrooms at CBS and Schulz's studio were bombarded with packages. They weren't complaints, they were tons of actual candy from children across America. These kids felt so much sympathy for Charlie Brown that they voluntarily dipped into their own precious Halloween hauls to send treats to the unlucky boy on TV. Envelopes filled with candy corn, chocolate, and even homemade sweets were sent with genuine childhood sincerity. It proved that Charles Schulz didn't just draw comics, he created ink and paper humans capable of touching the deepest parts of the human soul. Number 8, the pioneer of the Halloween TV special. Before 1966, Halloween was merely a secondary holiday on television. If it appeared at all, it was usually just a brief segment in a family sitcom. But with The Great Pumpkin, Charles Schulz and producer Lee Mendelson took a massive gamble. They believed audiences would connect with a contemplative, psychological autumn story rather than the action-packed cowboy shows that dominated the era. They won big. The success of the special transformed October from an advertising dead zone into a gold mine for seasonal programming. Every Halloween special since, from The Simpsons to Rugrats, owes a debt to the path cleared by the Peanuts gang. Number 7, a jazz masterpiece created in a single day. Music is the second soul of this film. Vince Guaraldi's whimsical yet melancholic piano melodies became the definitive sound of autumn. The staggering fact is that the entire soundtrack was recorded in just one day, October 4, 1966. At the Gower Street studio of Desilu, the same walls that witnessed the birth of legends like I Love Lucy, Guaraldi's sextet worked for 8 straight hours to complete the score. Guaraldi didn't just compose cartoon music, he used the language of jazz to translate the chill of the autumn wind and the silence of a midnight pumpkin patch. His elegant piano notes elevated the special from a children's show to a profound auditory art experience. Number 6. Critical acclaim and the Emmy Awards. At the 19th Primetime Emmy Awards in 1967, the special received 2 major nominations. This was a phenomenal achievement because, at the time, animation was considered secondary to live-action programming. Although it didn't take home the gold that night, being in the same rank as big-budget productions changed the industry's perspective. Critics realized that beneath the skin of these round-headed children were deep dialogues about disappointment, philosophy, and faith. Schultz proved that animation could carry heavy humanitarian messages. Number 5. The Apple TV Plus shock of 2020. For over 50 years, The Great Pumpkin was a public legacy. Every child, whether in a rural town or a big city, could watch it just by turning on the TV. But in 2020, Apple TV Plus purchased the exclusive broadcasting rights. This event felt like Lucy yanking the football away from Charlie Brown's feet. A cultural tradition tied to the concept of free for everyone suddenly became a commercial tool for a tech giant. Public outcry was so intense that Apple eventually compromised, allowing the special to air on public broadcast for a limited window, but the sense of a stolen legacy remains. Number 4. Vital lore in the Peanuts universe. Many holiday specials exist in a narrative vacuum, but The Great Pumpkin is an inseparable part of the Peanuts canon. Characters like Charlie, Lucy, and Snoopy retain their exact personalities from the original comic strips. Linus's belief in the Great Pumpkin isn't a one-off joke, it is a character trait that persisted through decades. The pumpkin patch became a spiritual landmark in Schultz's world, as essential as Snoopy's doghouse or Lucy's 5-cent psychiatric booth. Number 3. The Power of 25 Minutes. In an age of bloated films on streaming platforms, we forget that a masterpiece can be only 25 minutes long. There are no redundant subplots or cheap gags to fill time. The film goes straight to the heart: childhood excitement, the sting of betrayal, when Sally misses the festivities because she trusted Linus, and blind persistence. It is a masterclass in screenwriting. Sometimes, less is significantly more. Number 2. The eternal wholesomeness of the TVG rating. The special has always maintained a TVG rating. This might sound trivial, but it is actually quite rare. Many older works now carry warning labels because their jokes haven't aged well. In Peanuts, however, the humor stems from character psychology rather than insults or shock value. Schultz respected the intelligence of children. He never wrote dumbed-down dialogue. The special's wholesomeness doesn't come from avoiding sad themes, but from the sincerity with which it faces them. Number 1. The Essence of Faith: Why Linus Matters. This is the beating heart of the entire special. Linus doesn't wait for the Great Pumpkin because he is foolish, he waits because he chooses to believe. While the rest of the world, including his best friends, mocks him as being out of his mind, Linus remains in the cold pumpkin patch. It is an iconic image of undying faith in the face of societal skepticism. For adults, Linus represents the dreams we gave up when we grew up. For children, he is a hero brave enough to protect his own worldview. Bonus fact: a legendary broadcast history. From grainy VHS tapes to today's 4K digital formats, the special has survived every technological revolution. It witnessed the transition of television from analog to digital, and from broadcast networks to streaming. Conclusion: magic in the pumpkin patch. It's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is more than just a cartoon to watch during dinner. It is a cultural revolution wrapped in autumn leaves and jazz piano. It teaches us that even when we receive rocks instead of candy, and even when the Great Pumpkin doesn't show up, the true value lies in the fact that we dared to believe and dared to hope. Every October, keep believing in your own pumpkin patch, for that is where the real magic begins. If you enjoyed this Hollywood story, don't let the experience end here. Please take a moment to like the video. It helps this story reach more movie lovers like you. Share it with friends who appreciate great films, powerful performances, and unforgettable moments. We'd also love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. What scene stayed with you the longest? And if you want more cinematic stories, behind-the-scenes insights, and unforgettable Hollywood journeys, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your support keeps these stories alive. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next film.